Show then with our movers and shakers segment, and let's start off with Rima. She's joining in to tell us about the telecom stocks. Rima.
Well, the TRAI has released the October subscriber data, and there are a couple of points. For one, the pace of subscriber addition of Jio has picked up in the month of October. It stands at 9.1 million subscribers, but that is on account of the discounted Jio phone offers which were available in the month of October. So Edelweiss actually is disappointed for the Jio subscriber data despite the pickup that we've seen. Point number two is Vodafone Idea as well as Bharti have managed to arrest months of a decline in their subscriber addition, particularly Vodafone Idea. So Vodafone Idea managed to add about 1.9 lakh subscribers, while Bharti added a little less than 1 lakh subscribers. However, remember, this is backdated data. This is for the month of October, and come December, you could see subscriber additions come down generally for the industry given the price hikes. Another important metric we look at are the broadband subscribers, because they are your high revenue customers, and that has been quite strong for the entire sector, and the lead has been taken by Reliance Jio, where they've added about 9 million subscribers in their broadband business as well. Back to you.
Okay, all right, Rima, thanks very much for getting us the details there on the subscriber addition numbers. Let's move on to another part of the market that has been literally on fire over the last couple of sessions, including many of those stocks today. Largely speaking, we are looking at dye intermediaries because there seem to be certain disruptions in supply in some vendors, which has pushed up these intermediary prices quite handsomely in the last few weeks. Sonal is joining in with the details. Sonal.
Thanks a lot for that. And yes, the likes of Kiri Industries, Bhageriya, Akshar Chem and Budal Chemicals, they were doing well yesterday, and today as well they are up and about in trade, and that is because vinyl sulfone and HA acid prices have gone up. So basically these are the dye intermediaries which are used to produce dyes, and these are the companies which produce these particular components. So these prices have gone up because of explosions in China, because of which the supply has been disrupted. Also, one of the very large manufacturer of H acid and vinyl sulfone, that has received an environmental clearance to take forward further production, because of which the vinyl sulfone prices have gone up from 170 rupees per kg to 200 rupees per kg, and H acid prices have gone up from 350 rupees per kg to somewhere around 400 rupees per kg. Now remember, for the likes of Kiri Industries, these two chemicals form around 25% of the revenues. For something like a Budal Chemicals, it's around 39% of their total revenues. So definitely it will add more to their revenues. The spreads will also increase, and that's why the stocks are buzzing in trade today.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for that, Sonal. Well, let's shift focus then to a CNBC-TV18 exclusive now. Sources tell us that Bank of India is looking to acquire AXA's stake in BOI AXA Mutual Fund. Yash joins in to fill us in with all those details. Yash.
Well, absolutely, Nigel. Quite contrary to what PSU banks are doing at this point of time, which is they're looking to divest their non-core assets. But here, as a different case, what we're given to understand from our sources is that Bank of India is exploring opportunities to acquire the foreign partner stake in the mutual fund arm, that is BOI AXA Mutual Fund. Do remember that Bank of India holds about a 51% stake. AXA owns about 49% stake in the mutual fund arm, where what we're given to understand is Bank of India is looking to acquire that entire 49% stake of the foreign partner. Now, AXA, what we're given to understand, has been telling Bank of India about its intentions to leave the Indian mutual fund business. They've tried a couple of times to find a buyer but have been unsuccessful, and now finally they've moved into a space where the Indian partner as Bank of India is looking to up its stake by acquiring that entire 49%.
Okay, all right, that's on the mutual fund buzz. Thanks very much, Yash, for getting us all those details. So that's a story that we're going to track on Bank of India. Let's move on to all the stocks that are buzzing around in today's trading action. Mangalam's joining in with all the news flows.
Well, first up, I have Kirloskar Electric on my radar, as 4 industrial plots have been sold by the company's wholly owned subsidiaries. The value is not known, which is why maybe the stock hasn't seen as big a move as one would have expected on a news piece like this. The other one that I'm watching out for is, of course, VA Tech Vibhag, and that's primarily because they've signed a pact with the Bihar government for a product of close to around 1,200, for an order worth close to around 1,200 crore rupees. The third one I'm watching out for is Chalet Hotels. They've signed an agreement with Marriott India Private Limited. That is for 5 hotels of theirs across Bombay as well as Bangalore, some in Hyderabad as well. And this is for 1,500 keys in the luxury and upper scale segment. The management said post Diwali, they've seen an upsurge in occupancy for business hotels as well. United Spirits, that's a stock I'm watching out for. Apart from the fact that it is the end of the year, there has also been an upgrade coming in on their credit rating from CRISIL, while they maintained their rating, their outlook has been revised from stable to positive. And ending the year with a bang, literally, is Premier Explosives after ICRA has revised their rating on the stock as well.
Okay, all right, Mangalam, thanks so much for that. Well, keep an eye out on the markets then. We had a bit of a pullback, but some selling has crept in yet again. So the Nifty is now holding on to the 12,020 all mark, though a few stocks from the broader markets are doing well. Pull up India Bulls Real Estate. Suddenly we're seeing a big spike on that stock, so I think that should come up for you on the screen. You have Indigo Remedies as well. They have got an approval for one of those tablets. I think it's Febuzorsat, that one from the US FDA. So that one as well is moving higher, and volumes as well spiking out there. And also I think JNA Axles, pull up that stock, it's suddenly seen a bit of a spurt in the last few minutes. So quite a few of these stocks moving along. We highlighted on this show just yesterday that Saturn Credit Care as well. Over the weekend, there were a couple of disclosures coming in from the company that the promoters bought some stake. So that one continues to do well. And also another stock that we had highlighted here on CNBC-TV18, on Chartbusters, on HTR as well, was that pellet prices are moving higher. So you should be keeping an eye out on Godavari Power and Ispat, as well as Sarda Energy. And I think pull up both those two stocks, not just the daily chart, you pull up the last 1 month chart, and you'll see from the time we here at CNBC-TV18 have alerted you about these stock moves. In fact, it's moved big time. If I'm not mistaken, both these two stocks have given you more than 15% return from the time we alerted you here on CNBC-TV18. Otherwise, for the month as it is, there are between 20 to around 40% or thereabouts. So ahead of the rest as always.
Absolutely. So that's a heads up that you got well in time. Let's quickly recap the buzzing stocks of the day. On our list today, we have Bharti Airtel, Vodafone Idea, Reliance, Kiri Industries, Bhagairia, Akshar Chemicals, Bodal Chemicals, Bank of India, Kirloskar Industries, Chalet Hotels, Solara Active, Premier Explosives, and finally, VA Tech Vabag. So those are the movers and shakers of the day. Let's move on now. With the union budget just a month away, the All India Food Processors Association, which has members like ITC, Mondelez, Nestle, PepsiCo, as well as small and mid-sized companies, has submitted recommendations to the government for the food sector. Our colleague Priya Sheth has more exclusive details on this. What are they saying? What are the food guys saying for 2020, Priya?
Well, absolutely. The All India Food Processors Association has submitted the recommendations to both the Finance Ministry as well as the Ministry of Food Processing. Essentially, the recommendations are to help the food processing sector as well as save the kind of agri output wastage. What they're saying is that the food industry has been under severe stress over the last couple of months. The unpredictability of weather as well as the sudden price hike as far as all of the agri materials are concerned have had a huge setback for the sector. Therefore, they have asked for a couple of things. They've asked for, biscuits, ready-to-eat, as well as sauces and juices to be under the 5% slab. This is a uniform slab that they're asking for. They're also asking for food packaging materials like glass bottles as well as cans to be, taxed under the 12% slab. At this point in time, that all taxed anywhere between 18% as well as 12%. So they're seeking a uniform slab out there. They're also seeking for food processing units to be provided a 5-year tax holiday, irrespective of the location in which they are present in. They're also seeking some relief for the MSME food processing industry. They're seeking credit facilities for capex at low interest rates of 3 to 5%. Export-related incentives are also something that the Food Processing Association has been asking for. So, a couple of aspects that have been highlighted by the Food Processing Associations. We'll have to wait and watch really how many of these really translate into the budget going forward.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for joining in, Priya, and giving us the entire wish list. Well, we'll slip into a short break. You come back, we'll be focusing on quite a few of these chemical stocks. They've been buzzing in trade, so we'll get chatting with the management of Bodal Chemicals. Stay with us.